Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the Deltana. This is their part number CH2525. This is in a CR003 finish, which means it's a lifetime finish. Hinge is what this is. Very nice quality, solid brass hinge from Deltana. That nice quality from Deltana, that all runs together. They do a real good job as an import company. They are a company that's known for good fit and finish. The material looks very nice when you receive it. There's no doubt. Okay. The CH2525, I may have said CR003 is the finish. This is a cabinet hinge. That's 2.5, 2.5, and it features a ball tip. This is going to be made of solid brass. This is going to have the lifetime brass finish on it, and that means that the polished brass finish is this method of finish came about in the early 1990s. There is a way of bonding at the molecular level the finish to the base material to give it a lifetime finish. Where this was very much marketed initially was on kick plates, exterior polished brass kick plates. Initially it was polished brass, but today you can get lifetime finish in satin nickel as well, if not other finishes. And it is known to be incredibly durable to exterior applications. I've never heard of a lifetime finish needing to be replaced for failure. The downside of it is, and while it's a very beautiful, certainly a very beautiful polished brass finish, it's not the same finish as true solid brass with a polished finish and a lacquer over it. There's a bit more of a darker, deeper tone to it. It's less, the richness of the base material doesn't come through as much, even though it's an incredibly elegant finish. That's just the bottom line. I don't know that I would want lifetime finish on an interior application, only because I'm very partial to what true 605 finish, or I'm not sure what they call it, what Deltana calls 605. They just call it US 3. It would be better to call it 605 because US 3 doesn't tell me. It tells me it's polished brass, just doesn't tell me the base material, whereas the BHMA part number, the designation I should say for the finish, would tell me polished brass with a lacquer over a solid brass base material. 2.5 inch by 2.5 inch. Okay. The height is the first dimension on hinges. That's important to know in case you're dealing with a hinge that's not square like a 2.5, 2.5. They tell me the gauge of the material of the leaf is .093, and my sayer of truth tells me it's .092. That's awfully good. That's certainly within tolerance. .092 is what the caliper says. Ball tips, solid brass. This is a full mortise hinge. It's meant to be mortised flush to the edge of the door and frame when it's installed, so that it maintains that margin between the two. And plus, because we know it is, because of the swag on the hinge leaf, that bend that's right at the tip of my finger, right here, right at the tip of my finger, that's the swag on the hinge leaf that tells us that it is a full mortise hinge. Okay? And those tiny little ball tips that are there, certainly non-ferrous. The screws, which are in a compatible finish, they are marginally magnetic. I would be tempted to say that these are stainless steel, only because if they were brass, solid brass, they would be utterly non-magnetic. Stainless does have a bit of magnetism to it when stainless has been worked, and there's clearly a bit of magnetism there. I don't know if the plating has anything to do with it in terms of it picking up that property, but nonetheless it's marginally magnetic, a behavior that I see in stainless steel when stainless steel is machined. Very nice looking hinge, available in lots of different finishes. 3UNL, polished brass unlacquered, standard polished brass, US 3, CR003 lifetime brass, US 5 antique brass, US 10B oil rubbed bronze, US 14 polished nickel, US 15 satin nickel, US 15A antique nickel. That's a nice finish. US 26 polished chrome, US 2060 satin chrome. This being Deltana, they don't list any powder coated or black finish. I wouldn't be surprised if this was available in black, given how popular black is nowadays. But all of those different finishes are available in this. I am a fan of Deltana. Their people there are good. They are responsive. They have the ability to put you on hold and check stock, which is nice, and they're generally accurate. I've had very little problems with them. They are eager for your business. They want to earn it. Their inventory is generally either incredibly deep or they have a lead time, which it's more commonly the former. They are incredibly very topped off. They're bringing in epic amounts of this material because they're importing it from overseas, but a very good quality fit and finish to the product. What I like about Deltana, as in addition to what I've just said, is that they have hardware available that has gone difficult to find by lots of manufacturers. They'll make stuff that maybe 100 years ago you could find from a variety of domestic manufacturers that have long since discontinued it. So you might look for Deltana for solid brass hardware on material that you have rendered to be difficult to locate. There's also a link below this video to a document called Template, and that's going to allow you to review the dimensional properties of the hinge, namely the location of the holes for the screws. So if you want to be sure that this is going to work with your application, I would very much recommend you review that. But there's also a fault on their drawing. They are listing there a full surface hinge. This is definitely not a full surface hinge. There is a swag to the hinge leaf, and there is not 1/8 of an inch margin when you bring the two leaves together. So that drawing is incorrect in that regard. Also, the leaf thickness, a 1/16 of an inch would be about 0.06. This is definitely 0.092 according to my caliper, 0.93 according to the manufacturer. The hinge locations of the screws. Just measuring it, I do get 3/8 of an inch from the top of the hinge to that screw, so I'm not going to unpack it and check the rest. I will count on those locations being accurate. Finally, there is a link below to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Deltana products that we sell, but a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. Any questions on the Deltana CH2525 pair of hinges and a CR003 lifetime brass finish, or any other Deltana product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.